Hey my beautiful Taurus peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Ann from CancerMoonsTarot and I'm coming at you with your mid-November 2022 tarot reading. This reading's going to be very short and sweet, so without further ado, let's jump on into it and let's see what we got going on here for your second half of November. But Taurus, how are you? I hope you guys have been having yourselves a fantastic time, and let's see what's going to be in store here for you. What do we got showing up here for Taurus, baby? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus regarding mid-November 2022. Starting out here with the overall energy for you, we do begin here with the Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles coming into play here for you. It's a card of kind of like watching out for yourself. You know, Queen of Pentacles can be very focused on self-care. Queen of Pentacles can be very focused on putting yourself a little bit at the top of the priority chain when it comes towards whatever it is you're doing, whether you need to prioritize yourself a bit more financially, you may need to prioritize yourself a bit more emotionally, whatever the case might be here for you. You definitely seem to be pretty much the big priority here in this mid-month. So Queen of Pentacles here, definitely making sure that you're being well taken care of, really focusing on your abundance and taking that to the next level, you know? Taurians have the natural capacity to be incredibly selfless, but moving into this month, it's like, I want to focus on myself a little bit more and what I can attain and what abundance I can create and manifest in my life going forward. So not a bad thing at all. Having a look here in your current situation, we do have the Eight of Wands. We also have here the Five of Pentacles, and then we have here the Justice. So yeah, Five of Pentacles is a card that represents that something feels like it's missing. So you might feel like there is a lack of something in your life. Maybe for some of you, this lack could represent finance or financially how you feel. You might feel like there's, more that I could do to really create more wealth and more abundance in my life. And considering that I've kind of taken care of other people, maybe you've taken care of your family, your friends, your lover, it's like I want to focus on what I can do to make personal financial investments that are going to help me in the long term. So it could be a month here where it's like, all right, I want to focus on my finances. It could be about, I've been taking care of everybody lately, but I got to take care of myself right now emotionally because I got X, Y, and Z going on. I need to be the person that needs to be there for myself. So Five of Pentacles, something feels like it's missing. And you want to make sure that you no longer feel that lack in your life, but instead you start to fill with what's missing. You start to fill that with abundance instead. So you're really doing something here to create abundance in your life. Eight of Wands is a card of action, so it means you're getting moving. So you're really making sure here in mid-November that you're doing what you can to create abundance in your life. Now, with the Justice card showing up here for you, Justice card is the card of balance, right? Doing too much of one thing doesn't always make it a good thing. So if you have been pretty hyper-focused on everything that's external, everything that is outside of yourself, it's a good time to get recentered here in mid-November. If you've been doing everything for your friends, doing everything for your family, doing everything for your personal relationship with somebody, it's like, now I got to do more for me. There has to be a perfect balance. I can't keep focusing on my external world when my internal world needs my attention as well. So definitely see that being a pretty big theme here regarding the second half of your November, but we're going to go ahead and grab some clarifiers, starting with the Justice first, okay? So clarifying the Justice, we do have here the World card, and we have here the Seven of Pentacles. So taking a look here at the World card and the Seven of Pentacles, World card is a card that represents out with the old, in with the new. It's the ending of a cycle while a new cycle is being born, but it also is the card that represents your world, right? Everybody's version of what the world is completely different because nobody could ever view the world the same. We all view the world through our own different perspectives and perceptions. How we see the world is incredibly different than how your friend or anybody else in life sees the world. So you're kind of looking at your world, your version of it, and you're looking at the Seven of Pentacles here saying, what investments can I make to make my world the best world possible? So I definitely feel like for many of you, as I've said, you're taking yourself into account here in mid-November, but it's about your abundance that's really, really coming up here. Like, what can I do to invest more wealth into my life? And when I say wealth, I don't just mean financially, I mean happiness and richness within your soul. So what can I do to manifest more wealth is going to be a question you're asking yourself. And as you start to really pry at that question a little bit, answers are going to come to you here. So you're going to figure stuff out in mid-November. You're going to be like, oh, well, I can do this, I can do that, I can do X, Y, and Z. And then you're going to take action in order to get it done. Let's clarify the Five of Pentacles. What is it exactly the Taurus feels was missing in their life? We have here the Six of Pentacles and the Hermit. So Six of Pentacles showing up here on top of that Five of Pentacles, that's pretty intense for sure, because you feel like things weren't very equal. I felt like equal give and take in my life was missing. I felt like I was doing more for others, but others weren't doing enough for me. I felt that I would give my all, but it was never fully given back. So there's this extent to you, Taurus, to what you give that you feel was just never, it was never one of those things that it went both ways. You definitely felt like you gave and gave and gave, but it was never reciprocated in the way that you provided. So Six of Pentacles, you definitely feel like equal give and take's been missing from your life. And with the Hermit card coming into play here, that might make you feel a little bit lonely. Hermit card is the card that could represent a massive amount of things. It can represent wisdom, but at the same time, it could be a card that represents feeling alone or feeling in solitude or feeling isolated. So there's a part of you that felt very isolated from other people because you saw people in situations where there was equal give and take, but when you looked in your personal world, you felt like people would take and you would be the person supplying, So you were a big giver and you couldn't really understand why it wasn't reciprocated. And to be completely honest, the more that people tend to give to others all the time and they don't take a step back to give back to themselves is when other people are going to take advantage of that. So that's why it's always important to have that equal relationship where you can give to yourself, but you also know that you can give to others. But you make sure that you never overstep. You never choose one over the other. You're going to constantly do it as best as you can. You will always give to yourself, but you can continue to give to others. You're going to do it in a way that's balanced. So you're really going to focus here on finding that balance in mid-November. And it's going to be a balance that really, really is super important here for you moving forward throughout your life. All right, clarifying the Eight of Wands here. We have here the Knave of Swords and we have here the Knave of Wands. So these are pages, by the way. So with these two cards showing up here, Page of Swords, Page of Wands, clarifying the Eight of Wands. I definitely can say here for sure that with the Page of Wands, you have a lot of interests that have yet to be explored. Taurus, I feel like you've had a whirlwind of responsibility lately. I don't know why that's what I'm getting for you, but it's like you've had a whirlwind of responsibility. Maybe you've been taking on the responsibility that maybe other people should have been taking on this entire time. For example, maybe there are certain things going on within your family sector that other family members should have been focused on, but instead you were carrying that weight. Maybe this is the energy that at work, you're not even a certain status. Maybe you're, an employee, but you're not a manager, but you stepped up like you were a manager and you led your entire team at work, even though that's not what you should be doing, right? So you go above and beyond, and it has put you in a position to where it's been really hard for you to just have your own time to have self-exploration and to, enjoy yourself and to do things that are fun because you've really been taking on a lot that maybe some of it you shouldn't have been taking on at all. So I definitely feel for many of you here, that's another key reason of why it's like I need to focus up on myself right now in mid-November because of how much I've been taking on at this time when it might not even be my stuff or my baggage or my burdens to take on in the first place. So you've really overworked yourself. You go above and beyond. And I love that about Taurians, right? But I love that about Taurians when they go above and beyond and other people can reciprocate. You deserve that. You deserve the reciprocation. You deserve the thanks. You deserve everything for all that you do. So when you're not getting it, that's when it becomes quite unfair. So we also have here the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is a card here that represents hesitation. So it's like you've been very hesitant to do something you'd like to do something you'd enjoy, to do something you're interested in because of all the other whirlwind of responsibilities that you've had on your plate that you didn't necessarily sign up for, So I feel like you've kind of just had people throw shit at you and it's been one thing after the other piling on top of each other and you have felt obligated for things that you're not obligated to do. And that's out of the kindness of your heart because that's because you're a kind person, Taurus. Take it from a Cancer's perspective where we could have similar traits in that aspect, right? I've had many moments in life where people have kind of just piled shit on for me and thrown shit at me that isn't even my duty or obligation to do, but I did it anyways out of kindness because I care about the person, I care about the situation, whatever it might be, because I love so much, because I care so much, I'm going to do it anyways, even if it's not my duty or my obligation. So I see where you're coming from and it does come out of a place of kindness, but we have to remember too, even though we're kind, letting people take advantage of that kindness is a boundary that we don't want other people to get comfortable with doing because once that happens, it's never going to be easy to find something balanced when people are realizing that they could take advantage whenever they so please to. So keep that in mind here, Taurus, all right? So I definitely feel like it's about no longer being hesitant here. It's like, okay, I'm going to do what's going to make me happy here in mid-November. I'm going to do what I find interesting. I'm going to take on what I feel obligated to do and what my obligations are. But for the obligations of others, you got your own shit you got to handle. So don't come looking at me, okay? Don't come and knock on my door, essentially, is where you're coming from. And I'm happy to see you setting those boundaries, because the more you start setting them, the more individuals you're dealing with are going to understand, wait a minute, I can't do this, you know? And then you start to see less people taking advantage of you. So really good news here for sure. Happy to see those changes happening. Most importantly, happy to see those boundaries being reinforced, because it's very important to do so. All right, jumping on into the overall outcome though. What's going to be the overall outcome here for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus regarding mid-November 2022. What's going to be the overall outcome here? And what do we got? We got here the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is nice because it's a card that represents new beginnings. It's a card that represents happiness, and it's a card that represents being able to focus on your future. I'm hearing for some of you Taurians, it's like, wow, like I finally feel like I can now focus on my future because my focus isn't on anybody or anything else. It's on me. So you're putting yourself in the spotlight here with the Ace of Wands, which is what I love so much about you, but also you're giving yourself this opportunity here in mid-November to really dream big. You know, what do I want to do? What does Taurus want to do? What am I interested in? What am I invested in? And what can I do to execute it and make it happen? You know, like I mentioned with the Five of Pentacles previously, you felt for the longest time something in your life was missing. What was missing was equal give and take and equal opportunity to be just as happy as the happiness you provide for other people. It's like, I feel like that's been missing for a long time, was people paying attention to me, or people validating me, or people making me feel important in the ways that I make others feel important, you know? And I fucking get that, dude, for sure. Because I've been there so many times in my life. It's like, I make all these other people in my life, I show them that they're so important to me. Why don't I feel that same energy back from those individuals? And then you got to realize that if you can start seeing yourself as important, if you can start seeing yourself as worthy and deserving of happiness just as much as the happiness and worthiness you provide to other people, then you're going to start to change the way that you treat yourself. You're going to start to change the way that you put yourself at the top of the priority list. You're going to start to change what your priorities are, and you're going to realize, like, no, I deserve a good life, so therefore I'm going to do everything I can in my path to make my life freaking amazing, right? So I like it for you, Taurus. Happy to see it here for you. Queen of Pentacles, going back to the overall energy of your read, it's going to be a time here of self-reflection this month where you realize there's a lot that I can do for my wealthiness, my abundance, my happiness in my life. There's a lot I can do for the richness in my soul and for my happiness and for even finances, right? Increasing. If you've been dealing with situations where maybe you've been taking care of other people financially, this will be the time right now to focus on yourself and let those other individuals kind of learn the lay of the land and what they need to do to get themselves in a stable place as well. So you're going to be in a place here where you put yourself at the top of the priority list, and it's going to be very beneficial here to you. And the more that we reinforce these boundaries going forward, the more you're going to start to no longer feel like there's a lack in equal give and take, because you're not giving people the opportunity to only take but not resupply. All right, Taurus, though, with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Very short and sweet read here for you today. If it resonates, do let me know down in the comments down below. Of course, if it's not your story, no worries at all, but thank you for coming out here. If you're new, do consider subscribing. And with that being said, Taurian, have a great and amazing rest of mid-November, and I will catch you in the next video. Much love, Taurus, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.